Hey friends, welcome back to the Author Spotlight. I'm your host, Michael D. Butler with Beyond Publishing. I'm so excited about our guest today because I know he's helped tens of thousands of people over the years as the Taxman, and he's been able to help me with our corporate taxes. So he's a corporate tax guy. He's an individual tax guy. He's just an awesome friend, and he's a guy to know, especially during pandemic. Albert, Corey, how you doing?
Good, amazing. Raining here in Miami, but other than that, good.
Hey, I heard they're going to open the beaches tomorrow. Are the beaches open right now?
They've been open. Miami Beach got open twice, but they said there's too many people, so they shut them down. Miami and Hollywood got open, but they said too many people, so they locked it down.
You know, Florida is one of my favorite states, and you've chose to live there for years. And I mean, I know you've got such an interesting story. How did you get into the tax business?
That's so funny. The story is I graduated from the University of South Florida in 1982. I went 3 months looking for a job, and there was none to be had. And my parents had a motel that one day the maids didn't come in. So Papa Joe Corey comes knocking on my door at 6:30 in the morning, and he says, get up. I need somebody to do my tax. I need somebody to help clean the rooms. So I didn't have no work, so I started cleaning. About 2 years later, my mom comes in and she tells me, "Hey, get your checkbook out. You got to pay taxes."
Oh my!
Okay? And it's
a wake-up call, right?
But Mom, I don't work, and I didn't know. He says, "Yeah, you got to go to the IRS." I go, "Who?" I said, "Yeah, the IRS." I didn't know. So that led me on a mission to go work for H&R Block. So I started working for them in 1985. But then somebody comes up to the front reception desk and asks the manager, "Will you go to my house to do tax returns?" And the lady says, "Sure, no problem, $500.
Oh my!
And that was my aha moment, Michael. Because I said, I'm going to go to people's houses and I'm going to go do tax returns. Well,
you saw an opportunity there. Now, how old were you at the time?
I was 25 years old, and there was no work. And man, guys, if you think things were bad now, I mean, we blame it on a pandemic and all kinds of crap. But if you're an old goat like me, in 1982, there was nothing and there was no excuses.
Yeah.
We were just coming out of Jimmy Carter style. Or maybe it was still Jimmy Carter in 82, but there was nothing out there. So I started working for my parents, cleaning rooms, and I ended up from college graduate to cleaning rooms to doing tax returns.
Boom. Now, what would you say? There's a lot of college students have gotten out of college. So let's just talk about that, because 1.6 trillion in college debt. A lot of these kids may never get this paid off. And I know there were a lot of them wanting to vote for Bernie because Bernie was going to wipe it out for them. What would you say to college graduates, or even high school seniors that had to do an online graduation, couldn't be with their graduating class? I mean, we've got $6 trillion in new debt, and they're going to have to carry the weight of this, unfortunately. What advice are you giving people during the pandemic?
Now, what I'm going to tell you, Michael, people are going to shut me off and never come back. My thinking in life is, this is very controversial. Remember, nobody says I have to give you a job. Okay. We're in an age where everybody has to make a profit. So what I would tell you to do is figure out some skill and start your little hustle right away.
Oh, that's good. That's good info.
Listen, in 85, I started with nobody. There was no internet, and that's where my book comes in. Am I a tax guy? Yeah. But remember, in 85, last thing I know, there was no internet and there was no cell phone.
Right.
So I had to figure out how to get it done. Well, I figured it out. One of the cool stories that I tell people was, I did whatever I had to. If you read my book, I'm sure you read it.
The Art of Perception. You went #1 on Amazon. This is a great book, How to 10X Your Business to Make Money Faster and Earn While Fully Protecting Your Assets. A lot of people start a new business, but they don't protect their assets. You give it all to them in the book.
That's right. So I went out and I kind of like had to figure it out. Nobody, I wasn't around, nobody, I had nobody in 85 to help me. My mom and dad were smart, but they're Lebanese immigrants. They didn't know anything. So, I went and made flyers. See, here's a unique concept about starting a business. If you have no money, it's called go to Office Depot. I think flyers are like, 10 cents a piece now to make a page. Make 4 corners, make 4, and start passing them out. Boom. Okay. Low school marketing, but I'll guarantee you, when you don't have no money, that's step 1 to get stuff going. And that's how I got started, by passing out flyers to people's houses. Beautiful concept with no money. And one of the coolest stories is I was working and I would make them on Saturday night and to pass them out Sunday morning before we opened up the doors. But I was so poor that I wouldn't pay the $20 for Office Depot to cut them, so I could save the 20. And half those papers came out so awful and cut. But the joke is, I still got some of those clients 30 years later.
Wow. Residual income, passive residual income. And what would you say? I mean, that's some hustle that they don't really teach that in law school. They don't teach that in medical school. Obviously, you didn't learn that in accounting and CPA school. This is kind of the missing factor, that a lot of you had the hustle. Your parents were immigrants. And that's another thing, immigrants are 4 times more likely to become millionaires than people born in this country. Now, we have this interesting phenomenon with the pandemic, Albert. I know it drives you crazy just like it drives me crazy, is workers can sit at home and actually sit on the couch, watch Netflix, and make twice as much as they would on their regular job. What do you say to that? What's the future?
Future is, let me tell you what I say, and you'll probably never talk to me again. The rich are going to get richer and the poor get poorer. Guess why, Michael? Because the rich guy does not necessarily mean Warren Buffett. The rich guy, because I'm into that space, and you're not on the road. How many free webinars are there that you can click on Facebook ads and go watch?
I know.
How are you? So why aren't you getting that free education? Okay, free. There's so much free education out there on Facebook, on Facebook, YouTube, everywhere. They're free. These people are giving away free because they want to get you they want to know and love you. So when the door opens up, they're going to hustle you. My thing is, go listen to these people, write it down, and start to learn. Netflix ain't going to make you any money, dude. And guess what?
Unless you're producing the movie that's going on Netflix. So I tell people, think like a publisher, think like a producer. And you're doing this. You're creating marketing strategies for people. I mean, this is one thing where I met you because you were speaking all over the country last year, sharing your story, and you wanted to get your book out. So speaking has really opened up some new opportunities for you. What are some of the guerrilla marketing techniques you tell all business owners to use?
Okay. Some of the super guerrilla or low resource marketing is, I don't have any here. There you go. I have some here. A couple of things is, there's this thing called Facebook Lives. Okay. Facebook Lives, Michael, what does it cost you? Nothing.
Zero.
Okay. So you go in, and I developed a system that I coach. It's called how you can promote yourself. Here's one way: in 7 minutes a day using your cell phone. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you like that? 7 minutes a day. It's that easy. Just 7 minutes a day. Just take 7 things you know about and talk about them on Facebook Lives, and that's it. And next thing you know, over time, well, look, that's how I got you. I mean, not only you've been a publisher and a great friend, but I got to do your tax because you hear me pounding every day all the little ninja tricks on how to save money. Well,
I mean, there was no question who I was going to call. I got off the marketer's cruise. My CPA of yours passed away unexpectedly, not to COVID, but to cancer. He was loved and he was young. And you know what? We got an email from his sons that said, "Hey, we're so sorry. It was right here in January. Time to get the 1099s out." And I said, "Oh my goodness, I've got like 3 days to get the 1099s in, or I'm going to have a penalty." I don't think the IRS, if you're sick or you're in the hospital, they don't really care. They just want their stuff on time, right?
Yep. So, and like another thing, here's another cool thing that I went to an event last year in Miami, And I had this 20-year-old kid, and he argues with me. Oh, millennials don't like business cards. They're going to throw that shit in the garbage. I said to him, okay, let me ask you one question. Michael, what is your average ticket?
Yeah, for us, it's $9,000.
Okay, $9,000. Here's what I'm going to ask you, Michael. Is it worth $60 for a box of business cards?
Yeah, I think so.
Wait a minute. Now, but on the back and on the back of business cards, you put 5 reasons why you want to have a book.
Now that's so powerful. Now, case in point, there's a business guy right here in Frisco, Texas. I met him in January in LA. One of these young guys doesn't have a card, right? He texts me, right? The pandemic hits. We both get busy. I can't find his number. I remember his first name. I Google him. I can't find him. And he lives less than a mile from me, and we were going to do business together. The guy didn't have a business card.
Now, but it goes back to what I'm trying to say. $60. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Ben Gay. By the way, if you're watching this, anybody watching this on my channel, please, sharing is caring. That's the name of the game.
That's
okay?
right.
Go out there and share. Sharing's the best thing. Right. Getting back to what I said, $60.
Uh-huh.
So therefore, if you can get my great thing is so on a box of 60, can you get one person to talk to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
But your business card has to be done in the right way. Obviously, if you go here's another, I'm going to give you another free trick that you can do, Michael. It's called don't use Vista. Sorry.
Yeah, that's powerful. I agree with you on that.
You know,
I want to direct people to your website too. You got a really cool landing page at albertc360.com. That's where you got all your social media. Yep. Now, you started a podcast last year, and you know what? For a lot, I've encouraged all my authors, and I got to say this: you are our oldest author. We've had a lot of younger ones, and you know, some people get to a certain age and they think, "I don't need to do a podcast." But what are you seeing happening? Are you seeing that bring you new business yet?
I think it's just another piece in a wow factor. You see, in this world, okay, and I will tell you, it goes back to the wow factor. You know, and when you start using people like, I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you, it took me, and I was listening to all these different podcasts, and he said, oh, you need all this fancy equipment. And by the way, this leads to another one of my 5 steps to grow business that you can get when you text Taxman to 26786. That's
Taxman?
Taxman to 26786. I don't have, shoot.
Hey, I'm going to put it up here for us so they can.
Oh, here it is. I'm ready, guys. How's that, Michael? You'll get the infomercial or infographic, and one of them is why you want to go to events. There again, I met you live for the first time at the event.
At an event where you're speaking.
Okay, here is why you go to events. That's part of my 5 ways to grow your income. Because
now, how much more in a pandemic where you can't go to a physical event? But I mean, are there virtual events out the wazoo?
Here's what I was going to go to. Remember, I said a few minutes ago about Facebook, right? Well, then go. I'll guarantee, and you're one of them too. And I will give you props. Me to tell me anybody who's watching here, Michael, don't you have a Facebook that says Beyond Publishing? Right? You have a Facebook page, correct?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, you're watching us right now on the Beyond Publishing fan page and in the group.
Thank you. So my point is, anybody who watches people's stuff, even in pandemic, they're going to push you to their Facebook page, correct? Absolutely. Well, you go to their Facebook pages and you start to be educated, okay? You start to, I call it education marketing, right? You start in these groups, and guess what? What else I teach is Facebook is going to make you a dumb butt or it's going to make you a billionaire. Either way. You're either going to be a dumb butt worrying about what happened to the girl you dated in high school, in my case, 45 years ago, or you're on all these Facebook groups meeting people that's going to push your business forward.
Well, and a lot of times it's the friend of a friend that makes the referral, you know. It's not closing a new deal on one touch. I mean, you didn't close me on business the first time you met me, just like a lot of those early clients that you've had for 30 years now. You didn't close when you first met them, but now they've been with you for 30 years or more. I mean, what was the cost of customer acquisition for me? I mean, if you were to put a pin to it, you know what your cost of customer acquisition. You know, I flew 166 nights all over the world last year, and you know what? I had to do ROI. I had to get with you. I had to get with my former tax guy, and now with you, my new tax guy, and say, was there ROI for, you know, flying all these miles to 20 countries? And what would you say has been the best thing, if you could give yourself advice looking back, if you could go back 20 years ago and give yourself, the younger Albert, advice, what advice would you give yourself?
I'd say when I was young and dumb, I wasn't smart enough to go to events. You know, I didn't think of you go to the local events, Chamber of Commerce, hanging out at your church. My saying is success is, I don't know if you heard me say this, but this is my saying, success is a contact sport. Go out and meet somebody, whether it's virtual, whether it's in person, whether it's wherever. Success is a contact sport. And that's how, and that's what I'm trying to teach. I mean, what I'm showing people, by the way, in my book, there's my book behind me too, by the way.
Let me give you your book here. So I'm going to give when they text you, can you text them a link to buy your book on Amazon from your website?
That on my link, you know, by the way, when you click this, you're going to get over $299 worth of cool stuff, Michael. You're going to get this. You're going to get a list of my 50 greatest tax deductions. You're going to get where to go to my podcast. You also can get the PDF version. And I think also had the audio version. You know, my thing is to give away a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, it's powerful because free stuff leads to fee stuff, and people want to try a sample. When you go to the grocery store and you're going to try something you never had, give me a bite of that. You know, give me, you know, I got free stuff everywhere. You know, we got a free book here on how to write a book. We got a new class coming up that's a free workshop on how to write your book. You know, there's all kinds of free stuff. So when they text you or when they go to your website, you got a ton of free stuff. Now, you help me, speaking of free stuff, you help me save thousands and thousands as an individual, but also as a business owner, get some of this tax money that was coming to me from PPP and all this. What advice can somebody do right now, besides the regular deductions of mileage and things during the pandemic, because we've got a couple of extra months? Kind of give us an update as we've got the last 7 minutes here. What are the deadlines, the IRS deadlines? If somebody has questions, how do they get a hold of you? How can they free up enough cash to take care of things during the pandemic legally?
Okay. Best way to get a hold of me is the Albert C360. That has everything, whether Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, how to get a hold of me, everything at the 360. I'd say to make money going forward, it's simple. Go out and get more clients. Simple. Don't rely on the government. Okay, get your butt, start doing Facebook Lives, go on Canva and start making graphics and just start, I call it pounding. And because here's what's going to happen, Michael. Pounding doesn't happen overnight. I can tell you the story of Facebook Lives where I got somebody from Melbourne, Australia. Now, I don't know about you, but I kind of knew geography. I live in Miami, which is kind of here, and Sydney, Australia is a 25-hour flight from Miami. My in-laws live in Sydney. Yeah. So what starts to happen is you start giving away stuff, and guess what? You become an expert. Yeah. Okay. As you become the expert, they might not come to you today. They're either going to refer you to somebody else, or they're going to call you when they need you. I got people who I did the 10X stuff with Grant Cardone 3 years ago, and they call me this year to do their stuff and I haven't been in 10X in 3 years. Oh, that's really great. So kind of what I would tell you,
planted the seed that took a while to come back.
Yes. Put that water, baby. As Papa Joe Corey, my pops used to say, keep the fertilizer going and something will. Oh, I like that one. Keep the fertilizer going and something will grow.
Well, it will. And I think a lot of people give up. But I think if you have if you have a consumable product, and obviously tax preparation is for business and corporate, even though you're in Florida, you can help people all over the country. Your book, The Art of Perception, I really love the cover. When we decided on the cover together, it both hit us at the same time because we had struggled with a couple, but we knew this one was it. You went #1 on Amazon in multiple categories. But when you get on stage and speak, or when you do a workshop, what's the main thing you talk about to your audiences?
I think the biggest thing to talk about is I am the poster child. I went from cleaning toilets to 7 figures consistently. Okay, perception is that people got to think, and this is kind of what I teach is, they got to think you're the biggest badass, put it that way, in the planet. You could be homeless, but when you set up the right voicemail and email, okay,
there you go.
Think that you're the number. You could be homeless, but when you see, and this is kind of one of my stories, I started in my mom's bedroom, 35 years ago. But my mom answered the phone, Coin Associates, can I help you? Right away, we opened up a corporation so that, and I had the email set up as soon as emails came out, Albert@1040W2, because my email tells the story right away. I'm not at Gmail. So you got to learn to stand out in a noisy world. And that's how you make money. That's how, it doesn't matter. It's pandemic, Jimmy Carter, you just got to stand out.
And that's so true because you got to be there when people need you, and they might need you at 3 a.m, depending on what your product is. And if you've got a high ticket item, you've got to have some lower ticket items that stay in front of them that remind them. You might want to give a free audit, a free assessment. You got to have things. That's why I love refrigerator magnets. I'll get a realtor give me a refrigerator magnet. It'll stay on my refrigerator for the year.
Right.
A calendar on there, right? So put your picture on things. Look at Albert, what he's doing. It's powerful stuff. He's figured things out. He can save you money, put money in your pocket, but also to speak and doing a virtual event. Now you're doing something that a lot of our authors have converted their books into online courses during this pandemic. I know you've been speaking on a lot of virtual stages. My question would be for somebody that's watching in the last 3 minutes, as a speaker, as a successful business owner in the local market of Florida,
by the way, we got clients. We're not Florida based. We got clients from Key West to Washington, from Maine to San Diego. So we got clients in 38 states and 8 countries. So,
well, when you come speak in Guadalajara this December, you're going to have clients in Mexico. I don't know how that.
I hate to say it, it's my son's wedding that day. So,
oh, is that your son's wedding?
I'm in New Orleans.
All right. Well, come to South Africa. If they have the book show there, you're invited to come speak on stage in Johannesburg. So, Albert, what's the best way people can get a hold of you?
The best way to get a hold of me is the Albert C 360 site. And it's kind of like some new technology. I'm always hustling and figuring out the new thing. I think the new thing, Michael, is you need a one door place. I think that's what I learned last year. And that's what the Albert C 360 is, where you can go there and we have everything there. And then from there, we break out where, like I said, I got Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, how to get a hold of me, my podcast. We have everything there in one site, so it's easier to find me. Okay.
Well, Albert, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us from the family and the pool today. And you know what? We're going to make it through this pandemic together. Oh, yeah. And thank you for all the valuable things you've been able to help us with. You've helped me set up our nonprofit. You've helped us file the corporate taxes. You've helped us get the PPP money or PPE money or whatever they call it. And you helped me file my personal taxes. So I'm recommending you highly. I want to say thank you so much. And we'll be ready for book 2 and book 3 and having you on stage.
Right. Book 2 is already started. It's how to write a book on Facebook.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's my
Can't wait. Well, we wound the clock down. Thank you so much, Albert. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Michael.
Bye-bye.
Remember, sharing is caring. Bye-bye.
Hey, great interview, man. I think you've done